Hello, students. Today we're going to work on uploading our pictures for our About Me Google Slide project. We will also be discussing the difference between vector and bitmap images, and we will also be looking at different file types specific to image types because we're going to be working on downloading all of our Google Slides as PNG images. In our last lesson, you probably heard me reference a vector image when I was looking for my flower that I wanted to kind of animate in my About Me Google project. So we're going to kind of explore the definition of that in comparison with a bitmap in just a second. As always, I want to encourage you to consult the Google whenever you have a question about a term you don't understand. So we're going to go to Google and type in vector graphic, or you can also put an image. It doesn't really matter. So here we're going to just look at a quick definition. So a vector graphic in design is artwork that's actually made up of points, lines, and curves that are based upon mathematical equations rather than a solid colored square pixel framework. So in contrast, if we type in bitmap graphic, we'll see what that definition is. What is a bitmap computer graphic? A bitmap, which is a method by which a display space, such as a graphics image file, is defined, including the color of each of its pixels or bits. In effect, a bitmap is an array of binary data representing the values, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so hopefully you get the gist of what it means. Basically, this is a pretty good representation of what happens when you actually blow up a bitmap image, is you get that pretty awful pixelation going on, whereas vector don't do that. You are encouraged to read a little bit more on both of these if you'd like. Wikipedia does a really good job of kind of breaking down what exactly vectors are and bitmaps, so you're welcome to read that on your own. But what I would like to do now is actually demonstrate the difference between these two image types. So I opened up a Google Drawing. I went to drawings.google.com. And you're welcome to do this too if you want to try out your own images and do some comparing. I decided to go with Among Us and as an example. So what I did is I went to Google and I just put in Among Us character vector, and I was able to find this one pretty quickly. This is a .ai file type. We're going to be talking about more file types in just a bit, but AI refers to Adobe Illustrator. So I downloaded this one, and then I also just wanted a general bitmap image, so I just put in Among Us characters, and I was able to find one that I liked and downloaded that one as well. Back in Google Drawing, I'm going to now upload the two images just so you can see them side by side. To upload an image in Google Drawing, Google Slides, most Google Suite tools have the same function for this. You'll see this insert image box here. You can also go up to the menu and click on image and upload from your computer. So I'm going to upload both of these, and you can upload multiple items at the same time if you hold down the Shift key when you're selecting the items you want to upload. We'll be doing some of that with our Google Slide project too in just a bit. So I'm going to click open. So now I have these two images. Now what happens is if I have a vector graphic, if I increase the size, there should be pretty much no pixelation going on because of the way the image is created. Whereas if I take a bitmap, you'll see pretty quickly when I'm enlarging it that it becomes quite pixelated. So that's just a really quick and simple way to see the difference between these two. The other thing just to note, because I saw some people doing this when they were working on their Canvas scavenger hunt, whenever you're increasing the size of an image, you never want to use these side boxes here, because what happens is it doesn't maintain the integrity of the ratio of the image. So it gets this kind of like elongated thing going on, which doesn't look great. So you always want to use these side boxes here on the corners to elongate. Let me go back to the original so you can see what I'm talking about. So basically like this, it doesn't get elongated on either side. Now, sometimes it can be hard to find an image that's a vector, and maybe you don't intend to blow it up very big, so really the pixelation isn't a problem for you. One thing you can do is just use a free background remover. So if you go to Google and type in background remover, click on the first one, remove.bg, you can quickly upload an image. And I'm going to go to my crewmates image here. And then basically it takes out the background so that when you're uploading it into Drawing or Google Slide or in Scratch, then it won't have it. The only problem with this is you'll notice this has a lot of text in it. So it doesn't usually work with text images. You'll see it's kind of blotchy. So that's just one thing to be mindful of, especially when we get to downloading our PNGs when we do our ad campaign in a few weeks. You're going to need to be really careful with your text if you're trying to remove the background this way, because they just won't show up very well. So basically you can just download it from there, and then it saves to wherever you automatically download images, and then you can upload it into your project. Now I want to just briefly talk about file format or file types. A lot of times students aren't really familiar with the terms, and so I want to make sure you're understanding when we're talking about our images, what I mean by PNG, and why it matters. So in general, we have many file types, not limited to graphics. If you actually just Google list of file formats, you will get this lovely Wikipedia page, which provides basically all of the different file types in existence, which we don't really care about because we're focusing on images. So instead, I went to Google and looked up file formats specific to images, and you'll see some of our main ones here that we are going to be working with. Now, the ones you've probably worked with most in the past are PNGs, TIFF, GIF, and JPEG. And so JPEG, this basically, I like this Wikipedia page because it just shows you the breakdown of what the various acronyms stand for. So JPEG is Joint Photographic Experts Group, which, does that actually make sense? Probably not, but at least you know what it means now. Versus a TIFF, which is a tagged image file format. A GIF, not GIF, by the way. GIF is a graphics interchange format. That's what we're going to be making at the end of our Google Slide project with WeVideo and Scratch. So again, it's GIF. PNG stands for Portable Network Graphics, and you're welcome to kind of look through the various ones. But basically, these are just different file types that exist, and it's important to know because programs like Scratch don't allow you to upload, for example, JPEGs. You can upload GIFs, you can upload PNGs, but it won't accept other file types. So this just hopefully will help you understand that concept a little bit more. Now it's time to get to the fun part, our About Me Google Slide project. We are now going to focus on uploading our images. Again, you have to have at least 3, but you're welcome to do more, which I will be doing because I like pictures. The first thing you're going to need to do is go to drive.google.com. You're going to open up your Technology 2020 folder, and you're going to create a new folder within it. And you're going to do that by clicking on the plus sign, going to folder, and you're going to type in About Me Google Slides and click Create. Now I already have mine, so I'm just going to go into it. The first thing I want to actually do is upload the photos that I want to use for my project. It'll just make it easier to upload them to Google Slides. So I've already worked on figuring out which pictures I want to use. I took some off my phone, took some off the web. And the first thing I'm going to do in here is I'm going to click on New Folder and just call it Pics, so that way everything is kind of compartmentalized within my folder and I'm nice and organized. So one of the things I had a hard time with on this project was deciding what to actually share, because I do have a lot of interests. So I love traveling, for example. So I thought about showing pictures like from the trip I took to Peru with some students 2 years ago with Mrs. Catherall's students when she was teaching at Cedar Park. I also have our pictures from Italy when we went 3 years ago. I have our pictures from Europe. So some other interests I have, I love running. I love going to concerts. So it's kind of hard to pick 3 categories. What I decided to do was just focus on 3 categories. Todd, who's my boyfriend, And we've been spending a lot of time together. So he was kind of first and foremost on my mind. Food, because I love cooking. I was actually a waitress for 14 years while I was in college. So lately with the pandemic, I've been cooking a lot more. And then my family, because I miss them right now. And so I wanted to highlight pictures of them. So you got to choose what 3 topics you really want to focus on. Again, you can do more than 3 pictures, but that's definitely the minimum. So now what I'm going to do is just focus on uploading the different pictures. I'm going to do some collages in some cases just because I do have a lot of photos. So I went ahead and changed my background on this slide. I just wanted it to be a little bit different. And I'm actually going to copy and paste it because I do want a blank slide in between my name. So there's kind of a nice transition when I'm creating my GIF. Now I'm going to actually copy my word art because I want to be consistent with my font. You don't have to do that, but I'm going to actually title this one, My Boyfriend. Click enter. Obviously I need to fix this a little bit because it's a little large. And I think I'm going to actually change the color too. So I'm just going to work on formatting it so it fits on the page. I'm going to center it horizontally and vertically by using my guiding red lines. Hopefully, there it is. There we go. So now that looks centered. I'm going to change the color by selecting the word art box. Go up here. I'm going to do like a darker blue. Yeah, I like that. And then I'm going to copy paste and actually just take out this box on the second page. I'm now going to go up to insert image, which is right up here on the top. I'm going to click on Drive because that's where I saved all of my pictures. If for some reason you saved it somewhere else, you can always go to Upload from my computer. And I saved everything in subfolders within my pick folder. So first is a folder called Todd, which is my boyfriend's name. And if I want to select all the images, I can do so by holding down the Shift key on my keyboard and then click insert. But I'm actually going to do a few pictures. I'm going to do probably 3 pictures on one page and then do some others on a second page. So Todd loves to play music. So I'm going to make one that's kind of a music page. Shrink this one down. Here he is with his banjo. Shrink that one down. Here's one of them playing his guitar. And then I want to, because again, this is a graphic design unit, I want to work on making this look good. So you can tilt your pictures if you want by selecting that button at the top here and then basically twisting your image. Again, you want to use the top right-hand corner box to shrink it down. I'll probably bring this one down here, make it a little smaller. Maybe twist this one to the side a little bit. There, kind of like that. And now because I want them to pop a little bit, what I'm going to do is select them all. And I can do that by, again, holding down the Shift key. I'm going to go up to my border and I'm going to create a thicker border. And I can also change the color if I want. I think I'll do black. And the other thing you could do if you want is you could do kind of this polka dot thing if you want it to look kind of like that. That's the option next to the border weight. Try that one. That one's kind of too busy for me. So I'm going to go back. See if I like that one. Maybe make it thinner. There, I kind of like that. That works for me. You can also, of course, add a shadow if you want it to stand out a little bit more by going to Format Options, clicking on Drop Shadow. And so it just kind of adds that extra little dimension there. I'm going to copy this one since it's blank. And then if you ever want to move your slides around, you just select it on the left-hand side and you can drag it around. So then I'm going to go back to Insert Image from Drive. And I'm going to upload these pics now. Todd also likes food, so he's often cooking on the Traeger. It's his favorite pastime right now. This is when we were at an event. He got to meet somebody who was kind of his hero in college. He was the MC for the event. I'm going to make this kind of sideways here. I'm going to make this one go the other direction just a little bit. Shrink this one down. There we go. And then I like to be consistent with my formatting, so I'm going to create the same outline that I did on the other pics. Now, I also am going to want to create a little break in between the pictures, especially because I have 3 images. You want to give the viewer, when they're watching your GIF, a little bit of time to see the pictures. And so that's why I'm going to create this natural pause. And then also when I'm editing this in WeVideo, I'm probably going to make these slides just last a little bit longer so that way it's not too quick and people can actually see the pictures. From here, I'm going to go through and do the rest of my pictures. I'm just kind of playing around. So for my second topic, I'll just make this one my family. Click enter. I want to center it one more time using my red guiding lines. There it is, horizontal. Where's my line? There it is. And I'm going to change the color on this one too. So I'm going to make this one more of a purple. Ooh, that doesn't go well. This purple. It doesn't work either. Let's try maybe a lighter purple. That one blends a little too much. All right, that'll work. I'm going to create my space. Copy, paste, Control C, Control V, and now I'm going to work on uploading the rest of my pictures. The last thing you need to do is upload your assignment in Canvas. So you're going to go to Modules and you're going to click on the 1.12 About Me Google Slides. Click Assignment, and of course you can review the rubric to make sure you understand what you're being assessed on. Make sure you click on Google Drive, and then this is where you'll be able to select your About Me Google slide deck. Make sure you do click Submit underneath. Mine, of course, doesn't show that because I'm a teacher, but you should know how to do that by now. Feel free to email me if you have any questions. That is all for today's lesson. In our next lesson, I'll be walking you through how to download your Google Slides as a PNG so that we can get them uploaded into WeVideo so we can start editing our GIF.